And if you're sitting here, know me, and hopefully those who are watching online, which is a lot more than what we are seeing here. Also, a very good evening and a warm welcome to this session. If you connected last week and this month, especially our focus has been on, meditation. It's always been, but particularly this month. January is the month that we always like to focus on. And today being a very special day, you'll see generally a point of light in our presentations, but today also you've seen, hopefully, the picture, the photo of our founding. It's actually, today is the day, the Memorial Day. So the founding father, Brahma Baba, passed away on 18th of January 1969, so 50 plus years ago. And this month has been very fruitful in terms of reflection and meditation. And last 3 days, from 16 till today, all our regular students at the advanced level have been requested to have at least 8 hours of sitting down meditation. Generally, we manage about 2 to 4, and that's kind of thing. 2, yes, minimum 2, but 4, 5 maximum on a natural, rhythm of life. But especially, we've been requested for quite some time that 16 till if you could sit down. It's not a compulsion, just a suggestion. And in fact, most people on our connection, we know that they were very, very pleased to be able to do that. And the reason being is that it's that power of silence, power of reflection, takes you to a different level of knowing yourself, of learning to, find out who you are, and also that strength to be yourself. So often we know ourselves, but we don't have the power and the courage to know us, to be who we want to be. And of course, all our meditation includes serving the nature, serving the animals, serving everyone else. So it's not just for ourselves, but the whole world at large, that there's so much wrong that we're seeing happening. So we wanted to kind of make sure that there's enough of good also happening through our thoughts. And all our viewers and our friends here certainly understand that power of thought, power of silence is very important. And our thoughts can reach far, far, far distance. So I'm not sure if you're already feeling this place is already charged. I know you were here this earlier. And I think throughout the day so far, we've had at least 50 people, not more. And we've had a couple of hours of meditation together, but everybody's been, going to our meditation room for extra meditation. So do you feel the place even more charged than before? I hope so. I certainly do. Yeah. That is, the collective effort throughout the world of the BK family for the last 3-4 days particularly. So I hope you enjoy the vibrations. Our theme this evening again is understanding why it is important for us to focus on silence. You okay? You want anything? Please be comfortable. It's just the saying that silence is gold and speech is silver. But even then, though we know that, what do we focus more on? Right? We focus more on talking, interacting, and not so much the silence. So but it was beautiful this morning, whole day. We were seeing that some of our morning sessions at our main center, starts, well, actually, it was at 3 o'clock in the morning today. And some of the sisters and brothers have been working, cooking, etc., say from 2 in the morning. But everything is happening kind of through gestures and through silence and just there. But most of it was just happening kind of rhythmatically. And it just tells you that how important it is that we understand each other's feelings and understand each other's needs and what we're going to say and not come so much into sound. It's almost like, as I was sitting in the meditation room just a little while ago, I'm thinking, I really want to savor this all the time. It's something once we experience, we can go back to it time and time again and kind of savor it. It's just like like a dish that you enjoyed and maybe you haven't had the time to cook it again, or you don't know how to do it, or you can't find it. But taste, oh, it's so beautiful. You can go back to it. So silence is a bit like that. Once we understand it, then we can go back to it and enjoy the power again. But why do we fear silence? Just a few thoughts that came to my mind. One is maybe the uncertainty of what I'm going to find when I do spend time in silence. And I don't mean just physical solitude, but silence as in really learning to look within. It is almost like, when you're cleaning your house and you get to your drawers, and how often we do that. Let's say maybe we do it once in a year or once in a few months. And I was just thinking, I was clearing a few things a few weeks ago, and I'm finding my little notebooks that, years, some had 84, 94, God knows, all these years. And some I've read and passed it on or, recycled it. I looked at those notes, I was so amazed that, wow, I wrote this, like I selected this point and I'd forgotten about it. So I'm sure you do that, and suddenly you see, oh, I had this scarf. I didn't remember that I had bought it on sale or my friend gave it to me. And so when we're cleaning and clearing, a lot of good things happens. But, that effort to make that start, because one you won't stop. But it just, it's a bit like ironing for me. It takes so much of power and, energy just to start it. But once I start ironing, I enjoy it. I said, okay, maybe I can listen to this and I can listen to this while I'm ironing. So whether it's cleaning or ironing or any of the jobs that we find it difficult. So going into silence is a bit like that. Initially, it's a bit of work. But as I was giving you the example of my diaries and the points that I read and I even underlined, I had habit, I don't note so much now. But when I used to, in early years of my spiritual journey, I would give it a 4-star or a 5-star or a 3-star. So it'd be like if it's just a simple ordinary point that touched me, it would have 1 star. And thing that I know I want to keep it for lifetime, I would give it a 5 star. But then I've forgotten. So when you go back to it, and it's a sweet reminder. So what I'm trying to say, friends, is that there is a lot of goodness within us. So let me not get scared. Let me keep that courage to look within, and there's so much that's hidden there. And things that, was important, but we've kept it aside and we've moved on and got busy with other things. So let me not do it. And I was just saying, the 3 days I was mentioning, even our seniors, no matter how busy everybody is, they were making time. And it was like some of the sessions were collected, some were on your own, some were at home, some you could come to the center. And it was just amazing. So, but taking that courage and making that time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a little bit, and like last time, it'll be quite reflective. Do you like that? Good. So let's look within. Being aware, slogan, that silence is golden, like gold. I take this time and the courage to look within. I'm aware that initially I may find a huge pile, just like when we start to do a spring cleaning. But I also know that during that time, I will be reminded things about myself that I had forgotten. So I tell myself that as I love myself, I want to spend time knowing myself. So in silence, it's like I'm meeting myself. And I'm seeing that there's like two different me. One who's caught up in the hustle and the bustle of life, or of service and commitments and responsibilities. Being influenced by the waste and negative thinking. But I take this time to know myself. and I want to find out about my real self. I'm aware that just like when I do spring cleaning, and it may seem that the job is unending, it's going to take hours or maybe even days and weeks, but I still take the courage to make the start. And though a little voice may be saying, oh, another time, we'll do it another time, but no. I say to myself, now. And as is the saying, the good start is half done. So let's take this few minutes of silence. Scanning through the years of my lifetime, this lifetime. What is it that's been guiding me? What are my inner values? What are my strengths that I could see in different forms? So collectively, let's take a few minutes in silence to at least touch base that I have been gifted with, of my strengths. So I hope you were able to be in touch with some or many of your qualities, your assets, it was manifesting in a different way, but it was there. Like one thing I could see for myself, like even as a child I wanted to help, you know. And when I was growing up, we didn't have too much of pocket money given to us, but whatever little pocket money was given to me, I would always and who teaches you as a child those things, okay? Yes, maybe culturally we are always made to, you know, like our elders would always get the children to put something in the donation box. So you get a habit that this is how we, you know, serve others, think about others. So yeah, those was there. But I remember, you know, it's like I wouldn't think of, let me buy a Cadbury, or let me buy a chocolate, let me buy a handbag or anything. So my first thought would be, how can I use this money, you know, to help somebody, to buy something, somebody, and just see that smile on the person's face, or just get those blessings, you know, kind of those blessings was more important to me. Was like being a freedom fighter, you know. And of course, over the years, I realized that it's best to do through spirituality than being activist in one thing or the other, because often there are 60% of it's good, but then the 40% may not. So I hope you'll picked up some of your own strengths and some of your own good things. What I want to say is note them down and build upon them. So when we take these moments of silence, we can reflect back and find out that it's actually not that difficult. Why am I running away from myself? Why am I not making friends with myself? Why do I need to depend on anybody, you know, to make me happy? I'm not saying that we don't interact or we don't have friends or, you know, we don't be in a community. Yes, continue to. But each of us are gifted with so much. And through silence, we power that we have. And as we clear more and more things, keeping aside, okay, these are things I need to let go, these are things I need to dwell on, these are things, you know, maybe time for recycling. I'm not totally letting go, because even with notes, you know, I think I'm going to keep them, but you don't need them, because it's gone in, within. So, yeah, sometimes I make a note of all my 5 stars, but then I even look at the 5 stars, I say, yeah, that was valid then, but it's still valid now, and if not, let it go. Or is there a different aspect or a different angle I could take to that thing that touched me at that time? So I don't know about you, but I enjoy my company. I mean, I enjoy people's company too, in limits, but I certainly like to enjoy my own company. And I don't think it's about being selfish, but it's actually teaching us to be self-sufficient. And in any, you know, by doing that, it's not that our generosity is being affected. It's not that you don't want to share. In fact, I want to share more and more. But at the same time, I know there has been times when, you know, you're not sure of yourself, and then you need somebody to confirm things, to acknowledge, to make you happy, to bring that smile on your face. Personally, I don't think I want to ever be there again. Yeah, I don't think I've been there too long, but yes, I have had situations when that push was needed, and which is fine. But, and it's not to say that we don't take from each other. I think I take, sometimes even somebody spiritually younger, physically younger, I often take a lot. So that, of course, we have to be open to that as well. But it's like being self-contained. It's about like self-sustaining. I remember a couple of years ago, this has been quite some time, coming up to 2 years, went to the headquarters, and then I went to our retreat center near Delhi. And it was the day before I was leaving, and I just, sisters who had come with me, they had left. So I was on my own in a way, so just reflecting and my history and background. And I looked back and I said, yeah, I am very content. I think from my childhood I've been quite content. But you see, when that virtue is prominent, even a person who doesn't necessarily know you is able to pick it up. And I think it was many years ago, with one of my personal chats with Dadi Janki. She talked about contentment. And she says, never get into this position of comparing or competition, because God has gifted us, each of us, with so much, and there is enough He still has to give. So appreciate, but never compare. So like, I appreciate your beauty, I appreciate your beauty, but it's not to say I'm good either. Sometimes we think when we're praising somebody, I have to look down, or I have to look down upon somebody. You have your own speciality, I'm gifted with some other speciality, and collectively we bring that beauty to the world. So let's look at some more of our own beauty. So let's have another few moments of So I look at some more drawers in the closet. And find the hidden jewels within me. But now I take a little bit more of courage to acknowledge, to find out some of the patterns of my behavior or thinking, especially the thinking bit. That I'd like to get rid of. That has been stopping me. So with all honesty, let's take this next few moments to look within. In the silence, I sense a safe environment where I can trust that I can be honest. Though it may be a bit hard, I tell myself I want to do it. And I will do it. In fact, I am doing it now. If you wish, you can get some of the things from your childhood and as you were growing up and now. Do you find any similar patterns? That you may be justified? That it was natural, it had to happen, it's needed. But in reality, I subtly know that it's not helping me. But maybe it's just a habitual behavior. Or maybe even an addiction. And I don't mean about a substance. It's just the way I think and perceive. Or it could only be because I'm a bit lazy to do anything about it. Or maybe it's because I haven't really realized how harmful it can be. That the impact of it may be gradual, gradually building it. It's now become one of my major drawbacks. So honestly, in this safe environment of silence, I look at it with and I connect with the higher source. If you prefer, you can see that higher source as the supreme light. And that light that is the Almighty, it's very soothing and powerful. And I feel I am in an incubator. TLC, tender love and care, but that convention. It's taking away the weaknesses and empowering me. Your child in an incubator. You're like a specimen in a laboratory. But my strengths are being strengthened. Weaknesses being dissolved. I emerge as a sparkling, powerful, creative being. So let's take these few moments to underline a couple of things, if not more. That I'm now willing to say goodbye. Though it's been with me for a long time, it's not serving any purpose. I let go. I'm free. So that wasn't too difficult, I hope. Because it's almost like you are in a safe environment and you can see yourself and work on yourself with the help of the Supreme. So even if you fail, God will not. It feels so light. I wonder, we didn't do this before. So when we spend time in silence with ourselves, we start enjoying it. And in fact, if you see silence has so many facets to it, like any scientific experiments, any of the inventions, what do the scientists do? They go into silence. Any creative stuff, whether poets, lyric writers, books, anything, any creation, the basis of that is silence. Yeah. And lots of wrong things that happens, the basis of that is of talk. Up here, too much of war. And this is why it is important that we give time to ourselves, enjoy our own company, enjoy being in silence. Time and time again, let me do that stock take. It's something that Sister Jayanti has been suggesting for now a few years, many of her talks. It's like we have a system of traffic control. Every hour on the hour, we aim to pause for a minute or two, sometimes longer. I should say, look back what you did or what you thought in the last hour. Is there anything I can change? Is there anything I could do differently? But also, if we did do something very good, pat on our shoulder. Yeah, I can do this, I should do more of this. Invention, silence brings freedom, silence instills creativity, silence brings a lot of positivity, and there's like unending benefits of silence. Silence is not boring. Silence actually is very, in our meditation we often use the word sweet silence along with silence. And often we remind ourselves that, not yeah? And this is why our greeting is Om Shanti. I am peace, I am silence. Yeah. And there's just so much power in this word silence. So like silence and peace is often seen as boring, but it's not boring. It's actually quite fun. I often feel that spending time with myself is like partying, having fun. And I enjoy that. And I say I wish I could do more, but if we wish, we can do it. So we have to make time. That I know of, in terms of our regular students, I think most of them paid attention. And they're smiling even more, they're more positive, things are happening. So there could be people be getting upset or just taking longer time to sort it out. But it was happening more naturally and more quickly. So making silence your and a purpose in life. Imagine we've kind of accepted that we have to run in our life. But where are we running to? Where are we going? If we don't have a purpose, if we don't have I won't say a destination, but at least an aim. And just like if you set out to drive and you don't know where you're going, you just keep driving. In Hindi there's the saying, it's like Kolu ka bel, some of these, I think it's bullock cart, and they're blinded and they go round and round, so it's like a machine. So they think they're moving, but they don't know, they just the circle. So they're doing the hard work, and that's why they're blindfolded, because otherwise they would get upset that, what am I doing all my life? But as human beings, sometimes we bring ourselves to that same old routine, carry on day in, day out. And yes, we're doing good things with family, etc. But am I doing anything on a regular basis, preferably on a daily basis, to uplift myself, to bring benefit to the world? And if not, time to spend some time in silence and just see where I can do things differently. And it's not just at the end of the day, but in fact in the beginning of the day. So often we think, okay, let me start my day with watching news, see what's happening in the world, let me end my day. It's like a favorite thing for many souls, many people. First thing they want to watch, newspaper. I don't think people read newspaper as much. So there's telly. And before going to bed, what do they want to do? Let me see what's happening in the world. The 10 o'clock news, and then go to bed. That's a wrong habit. Start your day with something positive. Because most of the news that we get to listen today are not so positive. And I'm sure you have many things that at your home that you could refer to as positive. We have a huge selection in our bookshop downstairs, or for those online viewers, you can also look at it online. You can mail order. Huge selection. Invest on those things. You're doing that myself, right? So we often have so many things that you want to study, and then you're not probably doing any of it. So don't do that. Maybe keep a little bit of correction once you finish with that, or you could read a bit of many at a different time. And once you finish with, pass it on. Don't need to store those things either. Slowly, this session has helped you to understand that silence is actually beneficial. Silence is my friend. And the more I learn to enjoy my own company, the more there will be growth, and the more I'll be able to interact better with others. Because often I've mentioned in my talks that as is my relationship with myself, so is my relationship with others. Like one of the patterns I was seeing for childhood, like I was quite disciplined in a harsher way, and I expected that of others. But over the years, with maturity, often different people teaching you different things, you realize that's not necessarily what's going to bring benefit. It may have worked that time, but not necessarily now. So learn to relax a lot more. And I've seen that as my own understanding and my own relationship with myself has changed, the external relationships also change. So it is important that we be out, and the Supreme is there to help us. And when we set our minds, we'll also find two things. We'll find generally, we'll have also lots of challenges to prove to you that I don't think it's worth pursuing these things. So the moment you think, okay, now on, I'm going to be very you would think, yeah, that's the best way to do it. Let me be angry, let me be upset, let me fight. But also you who will help you. Who you'll find like-minded people. You'll find a place like here where, you can bounce ideas, you can be yourself, you can, talk to yourself. There's both ways. There'll be challenges, but also if you set your mind, you'll also find a lot of friends who will help you. So be prepared for both. And you have to keep fanning that desire all the time. Just like only, January, we've got nearly 3 weeks of that. So souls that I have been communicating, and I was saying, whatever we set out to do now, it's not that come end of January, that's it, and then February is an old year, oldie. No, we need to continue. We need to, keep that momentum. And, it's just like you'll be surprised that a lot of creativity comes. And even if a thing, do it. Some like, you could draw something, you could write something. And I would just think that immediately, like, just this, in the last few weeks, certainly in meditation, I'll be touched by a couplet, and I enjoyed this kind of, especially in Hindi. And I wish I had pen and paper to write it on, because maybe 10 minutes later I've forgotten what it was. And so this is another thing. As soon as you're touched, note it down, or do something that you remember. Because sometimes when I'm thinking, okay, I remember a couple of words, but what was the whole sentence, or what was the whole couplet? I've forgotten. So what I'm trying to say then, it passes, but that is your strength. That needs an outlet. That needs to be looked at. That needs to be cultivated. So give time for those things as well. And so we'll have a reflection. If there's any other thoughts or questions anybody has. Those online viewers, if you have, you could send your comments or thoughts to the YouTube chats. Anybody sitting here has any thoughts or comments? Yes. Sorry, can you switch that off, please? Yes, Maggie.
I know what you're saying, about silence and the benefits of silence, but what I find so hard is that I really do find it hard to stop.
Thank you.
I really do find it hard
to stop the thoughts. I do try, you know, and it's not that I even try to stop them, I'm aware of them, or you just let them go. But sometimes I can be exhausted after 20 minutes of trying to do silence, or half an hour of trying to do silence, because the effort of trying to stop my mind, I just, you know, I've struggled a lot with that for years. That's my main problem with it.
So, as I said, silence about being your own friend. It's not that you're stopping your thoughts, but the exercise we did throughout the session today was firstly learning to look at your strengths. Yeah. So when you look at your good things, even as a child you used to do this, even now. So each of us are gifted with a lot of things. So when other thoughts come, let me focus on the good thoughts and kind of cultivate those even more. When it's right time, then to look at things that I need to let go. And if you remember in the initial reflective session, I was saying that your current you and your real you, it's like it's meeting. Yeah. So if the you now is getting exhausted by all those thoughts or looking at those thoughts, that's not your real you. But if it's not happening at the pace you want, it's not happening soon enough, it's fine. You have to be a bit more patient. So don't exhaust yourself by thinking that I don't need to. And sometimes it's not that you have to even change yourself. You just have to acknowledge that that's where you are. Yeah? And so often I find that for many it's because they've always been outspoken and they've been harsh and they've been, you know, but now they're realizing maybe it's not working. And like for me, I would think this, what I am now realizing, or have been realizing for a few years, but have more strength in the last few years to do it, is that I haven't spoken when I needed to. And so now I take the strength, though it may be difficult, I take the strength to say, well, no, this is how I think. I'm not saying you agree to it, but I want you to know my views as well. And when you have said that enough number of times, then suddenly the person in your connection realizes that your thoughts matter. Because so far you haven't said anything. So they thought probably you didn't have any thought or any other choice except the ones that they were suggesting or imposing even. Or it could be the other way around, that you were always the one who had been dictating and accepted everybody to follow. So I have had to look at that as well. And because I thought I was helping others by doing it, because they were not quick enough or they were not competent enough, or at least that's what I thought. But no, we could be harming others by doing that. So it's a bit of sweet balance between the two. I hope this answers your question. So if it's not working, if you're getting tired, go for a walk. Don't meditate. Meditation doesn't work all the time. Some music that you like, or you dance even. Hopefully not with so many people, but any other thoughts or questions? Okay. So we'll finish with a few minutes of meditation. wanted to remind myself I love myself and care for myself. So I look at my strengths with a lot of respect and appreciation. Accepting that that's where I am. Keeping an aim to change either through thoughts or at least that I am patient with myself if it's not happening soon enough. I don't lose hope. I'll keep trying. Try. And one day I know I'll be successful. Through this session, I understand that I regularly need to give time to myself, to ask, to find out. It's like a child. I'd like to check. What is it that you want? And superficially, what is it that you really want? And once I know what is it that I want, I'm certain I'll find a way and method to reach them, to be that. Silence is gold. I enjoy this time with myself. When you're ready, you can bring back your attention to where you are. Thank you for your kind attention. I hope you've taken as useful. So we're here to help each other, just wanted to let you know that our Tuesday evening talks will continue to be online, and next Tuesday talk is a very special one that we've been talking about. It's going to of the current situation. She'll still be doing the session, but it will be online. We'll be open, right, Nidhi? We'll be here. We will be here.